Sikhism by circumventing normal legal procedures. Sikhs also gathered nearby to commemorate the birthday of the Khalsa. The protesters in Jallianwala Bagh were fired upon by Brigadier General Dyer of the British Army. Nearly 400 were killed and more than 1,200 wounded in this massacre, which permanently alienated much of the Sikh population from the British. Michael Odhya, governor of Punjab at the time, was assassinated more than 20 years later in London, a fact which Khalistani Sikhs frequently repeat as an illustration of their patience in exacting revenge. A Sikh movement was started called the Akali Dal, Eternal Army, whose aim was to reform the Gurudwara system, in particular replacing the British-nominated administrators of major shrines with Sikhs' own choices. The fact that the Akal Takht had presented Dyer with a robe of honour after the slaughter at Jallianwala Bagh made clear to many Sikhs the British influence on the major shrines. In addition, officers at the local Gurudwaras had inherited their positions, and corruption was rampant. The committee the Akali Dal set up, the Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee, Apex Temple Management Committee, SGPC, eventually did take over control of the Gurudwaras through the Sikh Gurudwara Act of 1925, and this religious parliament of the Sikhs remains a powerful force in Sikh political life today. In the campaign for the SGPC, non-violent demonstrations by the Akalis had resulted in nearly 400 dead, 2,000 wounded, and 30,000 jailed. The non-violence of the Akali Dal in this period is cited today as a counter-example to the claim that Sikhs are somehow inherently violent or too quick on the trigger. Sikhs also participated heavily in the renowned civil disobedience movement led by Mahatma Gandhi. At the same time, however, there were Sikhs who did choose to take up arms. The most famous among these was Bhagat Singh, who killed a British policeman who had assaulted a nationalist leader. Bhagat Singh was executed for this act of terrorism in 1931, and many Sikhs today feel he is unjustly neglected in most histories of the anti-colonial movement. During World War II, many Sikhs continued to serve with valour in the British Indian Army. Others, however, played a crucial role in setting up the Indian National Army, which under the guidance of Germany and Japan would attempt a challenge to the Allied powers in South Asia in 1941 to 1945. Some Sikhs joined the Hindu-dominated but explicitly secular Congress Party, while others went with the nearly wholly Sikh Akali Dal. After the war, these conflicts within the Sikh community were brought to a head in the discussions surrounding independence and partition. The fact that the Akalis demanded a separate Sikh homeland but never effectively negotiated for such a state is seen by Khalistanis as the great missed opportunity of history. An Akali Dal resolution of 1946 asserted a separate Sikh state as a primary goal, whereas the Sikhs being attached to Punjab by intimate bonds at holy shrines, prosperity, language, traditions and history claim it as their homeland and land, and which the British took as a trust from the last Sikh ruler during his minority, and whereas the entity of the Sikhs is being threatened on account of the persistent demand for Pakistan by the Muslims on the one hand, and danger of absorption by the Hindus on the other, the Executive Committee the Shiromani Akali Dal demands, for the preservation and protection of religious, cultural and economic rights of the Sikhs, the creation of a Sikh state. The Cripps Mission, organized to discuss India's future with the concerned parties, ignored the Akali demand. In the eventual cabinet mission plan, Punjab was bifurcated, approximately the western thirds going to Muslim majority and probably Islamic Pakistan, and eastern third going to Hindu majority but avowedly secular and pluralist India. Although it is argued by some that India has adopted a policy of national integration and assimilation instead of pluralism since independence. Mahatma Gandhi made a kind of pledge to the Sikhs at the time which has resurfaced in the Khalistani community today. In an essential communal unity, he wrote, "I ask you to accept my word. and the resolution of the Congress that it will not betray a single individual, much less a community. Our Sikh friends have no reason to fear that it will betray them, for, the moment it does so, the Congress would not only thereby seal its doom but that of the country too. Moreover, Sikhs are a brave people. They know how to safeguard their rights by exercise of arms if it should ever come to that. It should be noted that Gandhi also made many statements that Khalistanis today find anathema, such as that all the Sikhs were Hindus and that Sikhism is part of the broader Hindu tradition. While he believed that Indian nationalism must override communal impulses, his concurrent message that Hinduism was the ocean into which rivers of all other faiths flow alienated the non-Hindu minorities. Khalistani Sikhs, while drawing on Gandhi's comment about the safeguard of rights by exercise of arms, retain a deeply ambivalent attitude toward him.